It's the end of a tumultuous week in Parliament, and that all started with a shocking letter that dropped at 9 a.m. on Monday. Chrystia Freeland resigned as Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister just hours before she was supposed to table the fall economic statement. Now, with growing calls from within his own caucus for the Prime Minister to resign, some MPs say they want to see Freeland step up to the plate.
Leader, do you want Chrystia Freeland to run for leader?
Yes. Yeah. I think Ms. Freeland, particularly because of the skill with which she dealt with Donald Trump in Trump 1.0, is clearly the one that I would choose to take the fight back to him again.
There is a new book out today detailing Freeland's career before her surprising departure from cabinet. The author of the book, Tsalikis, joins us now to tell us more. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me.
It was a well-timed book release, wasn't it? That worked out for you.
Unexpected.
So obviously your new book doesn't address the week's events. Obviously, you can't work that quickly. But based on what you know, you've done a lot of work digging into Chrystia Freeland's history, digging into her political career. Were you surprised to see her pull this kind of move to, precipitate chaos in the government with this bombshell resignation?
So, as you alluded to, the time between finishing a manuscript and getting the book published, there's like a few months in there, right?
Yes.
So I always knew something could happen. So I leave the book a bit open-ended, and there's a few different scenarios that I plotted. This scenario, what happened on Monday, was not in there. No, this was not on my bingo card. I was as flabbergasted as the next person. She and the Prime Minister have been, there's been no life between them since the very beginning. He personally convinced her to run for politics in 2013. She believed in him. She picked up her life in New York City and she moved her family to Toronto, and she has delivered for him over this past decade. And no, I did not see this one coming.
Yeah, I mean, she left like a very successful journalism career, right, to run for Justin Trudeau in 2013 in a by-election when the Liberal Party was not doing so great, right? They were not doing so great now, perhaps, but they definitely weren't doing so great then either. Were you shocked that the Prime Minister showed what some people would say is disloyalty to someone who kind of helped him out when he needed a helping hand?
I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm less shocked at this whole thing, with the benefit of a few days. It is shocking because of how loyal she has been to the Prime Minister. But then when you look at Justin Trudeau, he does have this history of, when a minister is no longer expedient for him, he gets rid of them. So on his part, perhaps it's not as shocking as it might appear from the outside, but from her part, yeah, she puts a price on a real premium on loyalty. I spoke with her sister and she said loyalty is one of her institutional strengths. It has served her well throughout her time in government. She has moved from cabinet post to cabinet post. Her ascent in the last 9-10 years has been remarkable. But I think loyalty has its limits. And I don't know if this would have unfolded the way it did had the Prime Minister not tried to shuffle her out of her position and offer her what she viewed as a demotion. But that's what happened. And so I guess, yeah, she's not a wallflower. She won't be pushed around. So I feel like she found herself in an untenable position. And this was kind of the only outcome that was on the table.
Yeah, I mean, she went through some difficult moments, right, in her career in the Soviet Union, chronicling life in that communist country. I mean, your book is full of some great detail about what she has endured, and she is not a shrinking violet, as you say. That's perhaps why she had the chutzpah to go to the caucus meeting the night after resigning, go to those Liberal Christmas parties in moments that might have been, for other people, awkward, uncomfortable. They might not have felt up to it, and she waltzed right in.
And she gave him a hug, right? Because she's a hugger. But that's it. I think she, in the Soviet Union, she was reporting on, she kind of caught the attention of the Soviet authorities because she was obviously pro-Ukrainian independence, and they castigated her in their newspapers, and they made up all sorts of things about her. And same when she worked there was a period where she worked at the Globe and Mail in the late 90s and early 2000s, and the Frank magazine, kind of a tabloid magazine in Ottawa at the time, would have these anonymous reports about her, calling her Britney isn't Britney Spears because she was young and talking about the tenor of her voice. And she's kind of been through the ringer on that. I think she lets it slide off her back for sure. She doesn't read what people are writing about her online. She doesn't Google it herself. So no, I don't think she would have felt awkward in that situation. Her husband, I read, did not clap.
He did not.
Yeah, so maybe that's a better indication that I at the Prime Minister's speech, where she did. Yeah, she's like something that came across in speaking with people who know her is she's never raised her voice, even in the most tense situations. I got this from people she negotiated with on the U.S. side and on the Mexican side during the NAFTA negotiations. She doesn't fly off the handle. She's measured. She's calculated. She's strategic. I just,
Yep.
I'm at a loss for words, honestly. This week has been insane.
I know it has. I mean, you called Chrystia Freeland the Prime Minister's most obvious successor. You said because she's accomplished so much and is, by all indications, not ready to stop. Why do you think she's not ready to stop? What gives you that impression?
So, in speaking with people who've known her from, her childhood through her, university years at Harvard and Oxford and her young journalist years and beyond, one thing that came across to me is her desire to be in the room where things happen. When she was considering where to go for university, she had an offer from Harvard, and the way her sister explained it to me was that she said, when the United States sneezes, Canada catches a cold, that old adage, right? So she wanted to go to Harvard, she wanted to go to the States, she wanted to be where it happens. And this, you see this theme throughout her career. So she has found herself, she found herself in the room where it happens. She's driven, she is ambitious, and I think she's ambitious to do. I've been saying I don't think it's to be someone. She really feels like Canada can make a difference and that she can make a difference in Canada. So I feel like she would think that journey is nowhere near finished. But whether or not she has larger aspirations, that's the question obviously on everybody's mind. It wouldn't surprise me that someone with that track record and that kind of drive would want the top job. But would she want to stick around to lead a party that is essentially heading for a bloodbath and be faced with years of opposition wilderness? Bob Ray, our current ambassador to the UN, told me that when the Liberals were in opposition before 2015, she was wondering if she made the wrong decision. It's not where she thrives. She wants to be where the action is. So would she want to throw her hat in? I'm not sure, but I'll be curious to see.
Just quickly, did Chrystia Freeland cooperate with you on this project? Because there's been some speculation that she could use this book as kind of a launch pad to a leadership campaign.
So this makes me laugh because this was a project that I came up with when I was on maternity leave. I was laid off from my job and I thought, what's next? And I've been working on it for 4 years. And no, I did initially ask her office if she would like to sit down with me at some point, be interviewed for the book, and they declined. So I thought, okay, I'm going to start building, I'm going to go to the people who know her and try and build an objective portrait that way, which actually, and I think it was probably for the best because I think it's healthy to have a bit of arm's length from your subject. But no, it amuses me a little bit. I had my second child a month early and I wasn't finished the manuscript yet, and I was scrambling to finish it while I had a newborn. So that's not the kind of stuff I think you would do if you were on, a politician's payroll. It's wild to me. But no, I think, look, she is an impressive figure, and that's why I wanted to write about her, because there's not many books written about women politicians in Canada because they don't usually reach the heights that she has. So that's why I wanted to do it. But there are many people, I would say the majority of people I spoke with spoke of her in glowing terms. And I think that's just a reflection of her. She has her detractors for sure. And I think with the public, there might be an uphill battle if she were to seek the leadership because she's so tied to Justin Trudeau's legacy. But yeah, no, this is a project I thought was important to do. And I think we need more stories about Canadian women in public life. So that's what I hope to accomplish here.
All right, well, let's leave it there. Thank you so much, Catherine Tsalikis, author of Chrystia. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nice to see you. Happy holidays.